The threat is the excessive amount of carbon that the country of China emits, and it's reaching its peak. China emissions have tripled through the years 2000 to 2012. This occurred when China industrialized and succeeded to grow economically. This led to China to become the world's largest greenhouse gas emitter, accountable for 27% of global emissions. This country is responsible for the noticeable impacts seen at home and around this world. This country is responsible for an increase of CO2 released to the atmosphere, and the release of these gases pollute the air, creating smog. Big cities in China, like Taiwan and Beijing, are vulnerable because they have become huge industrialized areas. Beijing had 4 huge electric power plants and burned coal at the heart of the city. All 4 power plants have been forced to stop because it was causing severe increase in smog. People's health was endangered. China's carbon emissions are predicted to rise until 2030. This is significant movements that rely to help reduce the amount of emissions. It is possible that CO2 emissions could level off over the next few years, but it is also very likely that these carbon discharges will continue to grow as a business as usual model. Consequently, China is on the way to exceed the limit of the 2030 that the Paris Agreement and the Nationally Determined Contributions (NDCs) have stated. China will need to shut down and regulate other factories or traffic that emit huge amount of carbon in order to achieve a significant progression in climbing up its climate action. China's pollution on public health has catastrophic consequences. It is estimated that 1.2 million people die because of air and water pollution. Many doctors alert that the smog can weaken the immune system and facilitate respiratory, cardiac, and circulatory problems. China's president signed a pact that entrusted to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement, since this country in particular was not working towards the stated and agreed limit. There is an urgent need to bolster climate policies that relate to the excessive carbon emissions in order for energy consumption to achieve the goal of emission peaking, and the reaction is needed now before it's too late.